everybody, welcome back to the Claremont Classic Garage. I think today we're going to start a new show and tell video because we got some stuff to show and tell you. Well, we've had the box trailer out, so we've been down to Palmerston, Ontario to an auction we go to. The guy, it's kind of a farm tractor repair, parts, scrapyard kind of place. And like once or twice a year, he has a big auction of tractors and parts and implements. And anyway, so we participated in that. It was a bit of a gong show this time because their server was crashing. I'm still a little hot because I missed out on a pair of tires that I was really trying to get. And well, anyway, it's a long story. I'm not going to air my dirty laundry here. It really doesn't matter. It's in the rearview mirror and there's nothing I can do about it. But we did get some stuff. I don't know where this came from or how it got to be at that place, but this here is a 13 6x16 turf tire on a Kubota wheel. This is the exact same wheel and tire that is on our B3000 that we clean the snow with in the wintertime. This thing is like brand new. Look, it has never touched the ground. Don't ask me. I got it for 80 bucks. I just wanted it to have for a spare. I really, really wish that he'd had a pair of them. Now, that probably would have made the price go up substantially, but I really wanted to try so I could get back to mowing with my B3030 here. Because these industrial tires, even if you let them down till they're flat, this thing just pounds the hell out of you when you try to mow with it. If you're, this place is a little bit rough, right? And it just pounds you. Like my insides are in pain after I'm finished mowing with this thing. Yeah, I could go creepy slow and I'm fine, but then it takes me a long time to do it. This thing is capable of going pretty fast, right? So you want to go fast and you keep going faster and faster and faster. You need to wear like a kidney belt and a mouth guard. And I was hoping to find a pair of those turfs and air them down and try them on the back of this thing. But I inquired about it at the dealer one time and I can't remember what they wanted for them, but it was astronomical. So anyway, whatever. That was a long time ago. Since then, we've got the Ferris Zero Turn, and now we've got that gang of Toro reel mowers that we pull along with the 8N, and that thing is comfy, man. It's got that Monroe Easy Ride seat on it from like the 50s. Oh, that thing is comfy, man. So anyway, like I said, I'm really happy to have just this one that I could stash up in the barn for a spare, because if I ever had a problem in the wintertime with the plow tractor, at least I've got this. I can just stick it on and go, right? That's awesome. I could probably even throw it on the back of that in a pinch, right? It'd get us through. We've been to the auction and look what we got. If you recall, when we were working on our 1945 2N loader tractor, we're very happy with the tractor, but the tires on it are pretty bad because when it came to us, it didn't have any tires. That's why the fella gave it to us, because some hoodlums around here stole all the wheels from it. So we just cobbled up kind of a set of wheels for it. The back ones are pretty grim. So I've been looking around, and I'd also like to put something like 15 or 16s on the front with some wider tires instead of the 19-inch pizza cutters that are on it. So anyway, this set of 4 tires off an old Ferguson popped up at the auction. I got the whole set of them for 65 bucks. The damn wheels are 250 bucks a piece. So, I'm winning there. Now this one here, it's got a couple of cracks in it because I think the tractor sat with the tire deflated. But you can see here, it's a pretty nice tire. And I've got out the back another one that's pretty decent that I can match up to this, because that one is shot, that tire. So we'll put our good tire on that wheel. And then same thing with these front ones. We'll find a pair of matching 15-inch car tires. And Nick from the Real Guy Garage has a pair of 8N hubs he's going to give us, so we could swap 8N hubs onto our 2N. So these old 15-inch implement wheels will fit. I don't know if they're implement wheels or somebody made them. No, you can see there. So these are probably old car wheels, and somebody's cut down some tractor centers and welded them in. It don't matter, it holds the front of the tractor up. And at the same auction, we got 2 slow moving signs. That's a pretty nice one. And a hand crank well, out of something. So that was pretty good. Here's some excellent show and tell stuff. I'd like to thank one of our viewers, a member of Claremont Nation, Doug, for helping us out here. He doesn't live too far from here. Was watching our videos about Gord's Ferguson, and he sent me a message and he says, "Hey, I see you said in the video that Gord's Ferguson has one Ford wheel on the front." He says, "I've got the right wheel for it. Come and get it." So yeah, we took a drive up there one day and got it, and I'd like to thank him very much. It's exactly the thing we need. Slowly, we're gathering up all the little bits and pieces that are missing and not really correct on Gord's Ferguson, and we're gonna make it as close to right as we can. Well, except for the Chevy alternator, but I might, if I round up enough stuff, at least put a Lucas dynamo back on it. That tractor was probably originally 6 volts, but we could put all 12 volt Lucas stuff on it, and it'll look totally stock. That is something I may do. Here's a few things we got today, yard sailing and garbage picking. We found this wine bottle rack in somebody's garbage. I just consider it to be 20 pounds of scrap metal. And these things were all with it. I don't know what they are, but they will also go in my scrap metal pile. Yard sailing, we did pretty good. Got this nice little Mastercraft vise. I could use this downstairs on my hobby bench. And steel corded trimmer, which we can use in our little backyard here behind the house when we get that all straightened out. So that was good. And Deb got herself a little garden wagon. These things are neat. As usual, the tires, these tires are terrible. They were all flat. So I've just gone around and inflated them all, and we'll see how long it takes for them to all be flat again. This one already is getting mushy, but that's all right. I just go on Amazon and buy a set of 4 flat frees and put them on. I've done that with all my little carts and wagons around here because, you know, like everything you buy now is a piece of junk. In the old days, you could get tires that were like this, that they would last for 50 years. Now, no, they're just junk. No comment. Anyway, that was not a bad morning. Here's a good load of show and tell. I was at the auction and I got everything in this trailer for $47.50. I don't know what we got. The stuff was going by, and I just it was, you know, some of these things were pretty cheap, so I was grabbing them up. The small engine stuff on the channel, people seem to like it and enjoy it, so I was kind of running out of subject matter, but well, now we got lots. I'll as time allows, we'll kind of get these things out one by one, triage them, see if they're savable, and go from there. So we got 2 push mowers that came in a lot of 2 for $5. These 2 snow blowers. This one's a Honda, a Honda single stage and an old MTD Canadian Tire 2-stage. I paid $12.50 for those. And this adorable little Canadiana by Noma articulated lawnmower, which is just a rebranded Stiga from Sweden. And I got this thing for $30. This will be a fun project if we can get it going. I kind of like this thing. You can also get a snowblower for this little guy. I don't know where you'd ever find one, but yeah. So anyway, that's pretty cool. It's a good load of stuff, and as time permits, we'll start working on these things down the line somewhere. Here's some more stuff from the same auction. I got this PTO shaft for cheap. They're just always good to have around. I think this one is, yeah, it's the shear pin's sheared on it, but aside from that, it's okay. And Deb got this. This was all one lot. She got it for almost nothing because she wanted this. I don't know if she wants to use this on the dogs, use it on me, use it on weeds. I don't know. But anyway, we got that. And these are neat, these coasters. I think these are Greek mythology characters on them. But they're neat. They're plastic. They're good for out on the patio. Here's some auction loot. Deb got this collection of little garden critters, and we got 2 garden gnomes, a little elephant, and a rabbit. And she got this. This is cast iron. A hanging basket hanger. Nice. Actually, I think it's cast aluminum. It don't weigh enough to be cast iron. But it's cast nonetheless. She got a bunch of Santas that seemed to me to look like bottle rockets. I'm not sure about those. But it worked out for me because all that stuff came in a couple of old Nob Hill baskets. There used to be millions of these around, but Nob Hill Farms has been gone for, oh man, probably 20 or 30 years by now. So these baskets are getting harder to find. But we got 2 of them. And we got this little folding wagon. This will be great for going to the wreckers. Sometimes we want to take 2 wagons to the wreckers. So it's nice to have this one because it folds up. And, you know, until we need it, it can just ride around in the one wagon, right? Always be prepared. And I got this excellent box of 8-tracks. You should see some of the ones in here. Look, Steve Miller, Fly Like an Eagle. Jefferson Airplane, Chuck Berry, Road Music. That's probably trucker songs. A couple of compilations. Love Rock. Oh, there better be some Barry White on there. And The King. Here's some auction loot. This we got at the Amazon returns auction. A whole box of 2.5-inch little exhaust extenders. They're flared at one end or expanded at one end, so they fit over each other. So well, that's a good thing to have. Here's a super cool bearing greaser we got. It's made by Westward. Again, we got it at the returns auction. And unlike my, I've got a bearing greaser outside where you have to screw it all together. This thing's just got this tab. See? The tab latches onto this shaft. So you put your bearing in there, just drop that down. It latches when it starts pushing up, and you're all set. It's even got a nice little cover. I like that. Here's a good score from the auction. These are reproduction. Well, I don't think they're originals because they'd be from 1939. You know, but we'll chalk them up as reproductions. These are reproduction Firestone single rib tires, 419, as would have come factory on these old 9N tractors. Like this is a 3-rib. Those were what they got replaced with down the road when the original single ribbers wore out or got all cracked. And you can see they've got all the right markings and stuff on them. I can buy these. I can still buy them new reproduction. But by the time they get to me, of course, I got to change the everything American dollars to Canadian dollars. By the time it gets to me, a pair of these brand new, I'm looking at about 800 Canadian bucks, you know, with the exchange rate and shipping and taxes and all that stuff. Yeah, 800 bucks. These things, there you could still see there the seam on the flash from when they were molded. These have hardly been used at all. I don't know why they were taken back off, but I'll gladly take them. We got these at the auction for 60 bucks. $60 for the pair. So I invested half a tank of gas in my van. Call that 40 bucks and a little bit of time to go get them. So 100 bucks roundabout. I didn't have to spend 800 bucks. So I'm up 700. That'll almost pay for the back tires for this thing. This is our 39 9N that we're trying to make as 39-ish as we can. And I've been wondering about tires, right? I've got a couple of big expenditures left on this thing, which are tires and a reproduction aluminum grill for it, right? So, well, we've got a third of the equation. We need front tires, back tires, and a grill. We got the front tires. The rear tires you can at least get. They don't have the closed tread like it would have had originally. You can only get them with open treads, so they'll look like that. But what are you going to do? That's what they've got. So that's what we've got to get. I mean, I've got a decent pair of tires for this, but they don't match, right? So I could keep looking, and maybe I'll get lucky and find another one that matches one of the. I think I've got three. I've got three of them, and none of them match, right? So if we find a match for one of the three that I've already got, we'll be all set. Here's a few things we grabbed at the auction. This is a pair of Fiskars clippers, and you can. This one is neat because it articulates, or whatever you want to call it. It's adjustable. You can change the angle of it. Deb likes it like that. This is mostly for her. So that's pretty cool. And we tried it out. It actually even works. Here's a pile of pressure treated 6x6s we got for cheap at the auction. It came with one single 4x4 and a couple of hunks of copper pipe. All stuff that'll get used up around here. And if you've bought any of this pressure treated stuff lately, these 6x6s, like these 8-footers here are $50, and the 10-footers are near 60. And then here we got the exact same X3 super winch that we've got on our car trailer. If you'll recall, we did a video about fixing up the drive in it when it stripped out a spline a little while ago, probably on the last Odd Jobs video. So now we've got a complete spare unit. Hopefully sometime in the future we'll get this thing hooked up with some cables and see if it actually works. Otherwise, it's still excellent for parts. Check this out. Deb got it at a junk sale for $5. It's all shrink tube. Look at the size of some of this stuff. Unreal. I mean, mostly what I'm interested in is the smaller stuff, but the bigger stuff comes in handy too for certain things. Not always insulating electrical things. This stuff is good on the handles of sledgehammers and things such as that. So yeah, very happy to have that. It'll go to good use around here. Here's some auction that we picked up at a local auction, kind of a car guy auction. We didn't get too much stuff. There was a lot of really cool cars there, like old stuff from the 20s and 30s. We didn't buy any of those, but we did get some bits and pieces. This here is a what they would call a drill press way back in the old days. You would clamp your electric drill in here, and you would use that as a drill press, right? Not everybody had a drill press at home, but you could get one of these things and have something better than just holding a hand drill. So it looks like it needs some tidying up and freeing up because the mechanism doesn't seem to work. But we'll get that sorted out, and I'll get it fixed up, and we'll get a drill clamped into it and see if it actually works. That's a project for another day, but at least we have it. This here is a Motorcraft or Autolite 4180 carburetor. It looks like a 4160 Holly, and let's face it, that's what it's made out of. But there was enough changes made to it that it was designated a 4180. This, if you go by the number here, the reason I got this, it is the exact same carburetor by number as the one on our 86 E350 over there. So now I've got a spare carburetor, the exact right one that we have for that camper. I just figured that was a good thing to have. I got it for $3. How could I say no to that? And then this thing here, look at this. This is super cool. Sanyo. Good stuff, eh? This is from when stuff from, the Japanese were making really high quality stuff in the 60s and the early 70s. And well, they still make good stuff now, don't get me wrong. But this old Japanese electronics is good stuff. So this here is a new old stock, a little AM radio that you could put in your car. This is awesome. I'm so happy to have this because it's small, eh? This, I'm pretty sure, is going to end up in our 47 Dodge truck. It comes with the speaker and everything. Beautiful. It's brand new. Like, look at this even. There's no tape. The box was tied shut. Isn't that cool? Here's a pool ladder we got for $1. $1. These are handy for getting in and out of an in-ground pool. Or you can also use it if, you know, you've got a place in your fence that's very far away from the gate and you want you want to get through. You could just use this over your fence. I don't know. For $1, we'll find something to do with it. We also got this old Ford 3-speed top loader. I have no idea what it's out of, but we can definitely find that out. So the first thing we try to do is read the tag. And this one, lucky for us, we can actually read it. It's a HEGK. So we're going to go and look that up on the old Google and see what it comes up as. So we could see here on David Key Top Loaders, which is a great website for Ford transmission stuff. We scroll down and there it is right there. HEGK 1965 Galaxy with a 352 or 390. I'm guessing that will be a 392 barrel. And then down below it you see HEGL and it only says 390. HEGV only says 390. Those may be for like a police spec or that Z code 390 4-barrel. I'm not 100% sure, but that is a possibility. So that's pretty promising. What we got to do now is find out what gear ratio this is. I'm pretty sure that because it's off an FE engine, it's going to have the 240 or 241 first gear in it, which is a good transmission to have. But we're going to see anyway. So what we got to do is we got to mark the input shaft. And we got to mark the output shaft. And then count how many times in first gear we have to turn that to make that turn once. Pretty easy. So first gear in this thing is there. The rear one, the rear shift fork is reverse and first. And you just want to make sure that the input shaft, when you turn it, the output shaft turns the same way. Then you know you're in first gear and not reverse. So let's see here. What do we got? 1. No sign of that. 2. Here it comes. Here we are. And we're not quite all the way down to the bottom. So that's perfect. That's a 241 first gear. That is a good transmission to have because I think there's 241, 300, and 325 are the 3 possibilities in these things. And I've got lots of the other ones because they come in 6-cylinder trucks and 289/302 cars. This guy is a little harder to find, but hey, we've got one. I got 2 more things in the trailer. We'll see how lucky we get with those. Here we got an electrical converter from an old camping trailer. These things are handy. You can use these for all kinds of stuff. Again, I got it for $1. How could I say no to that? It's pretty heavy. I think I could get my $1 back if all I did was walk it out the back and throw it in the metal trailer. But yeah, that's a handy thing. Here we got an old Ford Banjo rear end. This, according to it, is from 41 to 48 Ford. A car, I would guess. Although, I don't know, look at this spring. It may be out of a truck. A couple of broken leaves in it, too. So, I don't really have a lot to say about this right now. And you'll see more of it later. I got this special for a video we're going to make in the future. And how could I go wrong for $2 whole? I'm also happy with this purchase because it's got these 15x8 wagon wheels. And they're 5 on 5.5-inch bolt pattern, which fits 3 trailers that I have here, so that'll be handy. They've even got like a matching pair of tires on them. This just keeps getting better and better, this load. And here's the last thing we got, and this is where the $2 and $3 buys ended. I had to pay a few bucks for this. This is a Versailles rear end. So in the late 70s, Ford decided they were going to make a Lincoln out of their Granada / Monarch car. So they got a Granada and gussied it all up and made it into a Lincoln. And as part of that, it had a 351 Windsor engine and this 9-inch rear end with disc brakes. So back in the 80s, I'm talking before there was, you know, Explorer rear ends with disc brakes and track locks in them, in all the pick and pulls that you could get for $100. There was nothing like this. A narrow 9-inch with disc brakes. This thing would go right into a 32 Ford, right? And these things were oh, you could sell them like hotcakes. You could sell them as fast as you could pull them out of wrecks in the 80s. There's probably still a market for them, but definitely not like it used to be. Anyway, this thing is complete. It's got decent looking rotors on it, the calipers, everything is there. So all we got left to do is find out what's in here. There's probably about a 5% chance that it's got a track lock in it. All we can do is check. So the first thing I'm going to do is take this nut off and we'll get the tag off and see if we can read the tag. Then we'll go from there. So here we could decipher the tag. All of this stuff means something, but this is the only thing we really worried about. 2.50. So that's the gear ratio. It's a 250 gear. And in between the 2 and the 5, if it was a track lock, there would be an L there. And you can see there's definitely no L. So this is a 250 one-wheel peel. That is a brutal gear, man. I guess it wasn't that big a car, and the 351 had more than enough oomph to move it around. And in 77, 78, when these things were built, there were no overdrive transmissions yet. So that's how they did it. They put a torquey engine in the car and a tall gear. Anyway, it is what it is. I'm not going to lose no sleep over that. We've still got us a Versailles rear end. So that was a pretty good load of stuff. I guess we're going to wrap up this episode or this edition of Show and Tell. And we'll start compiling a new one. Who knows when you'll see that. But it takes me, sometimes it takes longer to make them. Sometimes I'm able to make them sooner. It depends how stuff goes at the auctions and what other stuff I come across along the way. Anyway, it is what it is. I'd like to thank you for checking out our little channel here. I hope you'll come back and see us again. And until then, I'm Kevin saying so long for now.